go wild and crazy for Monsieur Germain Brin. How are you, Melbourne? We're gonna have to do a little bit better than that. What's up, Melbourne? Now, I've always dreamed of doing that. I feel like I'm some big shot on some big stage somewhere. So that's it, I've done it. Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding, haha. I'm Germain, and I'm here to swap words with laughter with you guys. I think that's a pretty sweet deal. We're essentially here to make each other feel good. You feel good because you're laughing. I feel good because I think I'm funny. In case you didn't pick it yet, I'm French. And French people do come with accent. When I first got here, I was really struggling with one thing, which was the letter H at the start of a word. So in French, this letter is silent. So a sentence like, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse, becomes, I'm so angry, I want to eat a horse. Now, that's not great when you're trying to address animal cruelty. But it got worse. It got worse. When I used to say, I'm looking for happiness, the answer I used to get was, well, I think you already have it, mate. And although I didn't quite understand the answer, it was quite pleasing, until I realized that what I was actually saying is, I'm looking for a penis. But the words didn't come from me, it came from my dad. Now, this is the time where both my parents came for the first time into Australia to meet my wife and my in-laws. So in French, when you're trying to speak English and you don't know the word, what you can do is use the French word and put an English accent to it. And, most of the time it works. You get away with it, people understand. So here we are. The other thing is in French, the animal, a deer, is called a biche, right? So now here we are, my parents, my in-laws, my wife, myself, around the table. First day meeting, trying to break the ice, trying to get to know each other. When my dad, really trying hard to speak English, lovingly turned to my mom and said, could you please pass me some pepper, my bitch? Now, that certainly did spice things up for me, trying to explain that to my wife afterwards. So all that to say that I hope you guys actually will understand what I'm saying here. Imagine getting to a stage where instead of looking at me, you guys looking at each other going, we're supposed to laugh now? I don't know, mate, all I heard was, So, this is probably going to happen, so please do get to know your neighbor now. Please all turn to your neighbor now and say, hello, beautiful stranger. So, talking about beauty, I love nature and I'm passionate about biomimicry. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's essentially saying that to live sustainably, we need to take inspiration into nature, because nature has been doing sustainability for a far longer time than we have, right? Makes sense. So, a few days back, I was talking to my mate Walter, saying, it's really pouring my heart out, trying to explain to him why biomimicry was so awesome. And he thinks about it, looks at me and says, so Germain, you really think that at 5 a.m. I should go and stand in front of my neighbor's window and to mimic the kookaburra start shouting like crazy? Well, not quite, Walter, but he goes on, he goes, so you think I should, when I go for walks, I should stop lift my legs and pee every 20 meters on flies. Imagine that. Love biomimicry. But I'm passionate about biophilia. And biophilia essentially says that our five senses should be in daily interaction with nature in order to be well and feel well. Since I'm a wee wanker, I've always loved being in nature. And what is the next thing I was going to say? Help me out, please. Yeah. So if you look at the root word for biophilia, it essentially means love of life, right? Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about having sex with plants. But when I picture myself, in my love of life, I picture myself in the most beautiful Garden of Eden, with walking around with only a vine leaf covering my happiness, with the beautiful sounds of birds entering my ear, beautiful smell of flowers entering my nostril, and sweet little Bambi slowly approaching me, looking at me with the most innocent eyes and say, "I'm a peach." But I also indulge in my love for nature and my deep connection to country when I go golfing. When I very often find myself looking for tall grasses under the bushes and even knee-deep in water, trying to look for my balls. Sorry, my ball. My balls are alright, but you usually find themselves close to my happiness. But before starting to work in sustainability, I actually worked 10 years in the petroleum industry. Show of hands, who else has a job that is in deep alignment with their personal values? But sometimes you really need to see things as they are before being ready to change them. So today I bring bioluminescence or living light into our cities. Think fireflies, glowworms, or Avatar. In the ocean, bioluminescence is used by a lot of organisms to attract mate, attract food, or fend off predators. Imagine if tomorrow, in our city, the magic of bioluminescence lighting would be a hotspot for speed dating, a place to share food with friends, and a halo of safety to fend off nasty behavior. If we had all that, I think we would really be living in happiness. And this is why I do stand-up comedy. Because what happiness really wants is to stand up.